Hey fam, I'm excited to be with you on this rainy, kind of sunny Monday. I'm not sure what the weather's trying to do, but I think that after we have this conversation, your day is going to be brighter because I know mine is. We are here with Cristina Tufts. And, up until now, when we do our wine talk, we are interviewing wine producers, which that has been great. But today I am bringing a different perspective to the game. And Cristina is the owner of Harbor Wines, which is a local distributor. And so I can't wait to hear what she has to say about being a distributor, being a female in distribution, because I know she has some great, interesting stories to tell. So let's just get started. Hey, Cristina.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for being here. I was so excited. We work with a number of distributors, and I really enjoy working with the smaller boutique distributors because we're small, and there seems to be an understanding of like what our needs are and what your needs are. And so I was so excited to not only know that you are a smaller female owned distributor, but also that you really focus on women produced wines and wines that you're not going to find in everyday catalogs and selections. So let's get right into it. How did you get started in distribution?
That was the easy part. I come from a small country in Eastern Europe called Moldova. A lot of people might have not heard of it until the unfortunate chain of events with Ukraine. We border Ukraine, basically sandwiched between Ukraine and Romania. And at the very core of what we do in Moldova is agriculture, or so wine. So needless to say, and I don't know what that says about me, but I did grow up with a glass of wine in hand. When I immigrated to the United States, I thought I was going to be a linguist because being from that part of the world, countries are like states here in the United States, so close together, it's almost inevitable that we speak more than one. So I thought I'd be a linguist, but I had to follow my husband around, who was a officer in the army, and I couldn't land a job of my own. So I had to wait for the right opportunity when we would finally be in a place where I can learn some roots. So
Yeah.
starting the company.
Say that last part again. I don't know if it's me on this end, but it broke up. Can you just say that last part again?
Let me see if the other headset helps. I said starting the company was the. I'm saving my answers for later because I don't know. I'm not going to give it to you all at once, but
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem at all. So, in a way, wine has its own language. So, you're able to exercise some of those linguistic skills, but it really is, the art of um, selecting wines and, creating a portfolio that you're willing to represent different winemakers. So, how did you select the wines? Because when we were talking, I said, when I learned that you were from Moldova, I said, "Oh my God, we carry one of the wines from Moldova, and I love that wine." And you said, "Oh yes, I work with another distributor to get started there." So, how did you come about making the selection of wines and bringing representing Eastern European wines into your portfolio?
so kind of piggybacking on the introduction, the the easy part for me was the language. I thought I'll find myself in linguistics, maybe working for the government, but because I could never be sedentary, I couldn't. And then when we came to DC, I met somebody, and us immigrants find a lot of um, comfort, so to speak, in going to our country's embassies to connect with some of the people that we didn't know but are from the same maybe country, or not maybe country for sure country, but maybe the same area within the country. And that's when I met Dimitri. Dimitri has his own important over and sharing with him um, my curiosity about the industry. He gave me the opportunity to work for him, more so getting wet instead of diving head first in this endeavor. And I am forever grateful for having that type of mentorship opportunity to explore the market. Before I incorporated my own company. He allowed me the opportunity to service quite a few locations and stores on and off premise. And the connection that I had with people, with the ultimate consumer, did give me that stamp of approval. I am back around people that speak the same language of mine. They came to my place because they're curious about what I have, and what I had were esoteric wines from Moldova and other countries, varietals that are lesser, talking about them. And the customer did give me the basis that I needed to have in order to know that my important distribution is what I want to do. I want to incorporate, carry on the story in the industry.
I hear you. Um, I think that your earphones are still going in and out. It's a little choppy. Try taking them off and I will turn the volume down here. I think we can solve that echo issue. But you're sharing so much great information. I don't want people to miss it.
Let's try this. Tell me if this is any better.
Yes, that's much better.
Okay, sorry
That
about
yeah,
that.
not a problem. No. Well, it's I can only imagine moving to a different country or what have you, trying to find community. I mean, it's hard enough as an adult trying to find community. So, how were you able to do that when you moved here?
Embassy, at the embassy of Moldova, I met some people from my country that I didn't know before. And the embassy itself had resources available to us, and that connection meant a lot. They say everything that happens for a reason, and I
Mhm.
believe I met Dmitry for this reason, because I had a lot of ambiguities on my direction, considering the status quo and where my life was at the time. Meeting him and being a sales rep before I got the opportunity to be a business owner was pillar, really was paramount
Mhm.
for my success moving forward. And I would be disingenuous if I didn't share with you that family has played a big role in this. When I shared with my husband that I want to be a wine importer and distributor, I asked him for $3,000. He kind of had to sit down and look around, because he's a very calculated guy, as most army people are. They
Mhm.
don't do anything without a plan. And he said, "Okay, $3,000. Well, if nothing else, we're gonna have $3,000 worth of wine to drink, right?" And I'm like, "You're on the right path. We're on the
There you
same page.
go.
If nothing else, we got that."
That is yeah, I mean, when you look at it, $3,000 is nothing to sneeze at. But I mean, the investment of being a distributor, I can imagine not only financially, but it is also, especially now, um, it comes with risk and challenges because the importers are not always able to deliver the products like they have been before. Producers may have problems producing. Like, what are the challenges that go into distribution?
That is a very long list of what's, and I have some answers. I think we can squeeze it in within the time that we have together. Well, the first challenge would be my scope of work, which was working with wines from my home country. But as we know, the sales is all about supply and demand. And there is little to no demand for wines from Moldova, but my portfolio consisted of 10 SKUs of wines from Moldova. I was 29 when I started the company. Today I'm 23, to be fair. When I
Exactly. I'm
started the
aging
company, I
backwards
was
too.
29. Um, and as you may know, because you've been in the industry for a while, age plays a big role. It is known that age brings knowledge, that you've
Hmm.
been through life enough, you've experienced enough, you've been exposed through to enough of the industry to know enough. But this was a label put on me by many, not allocating room to know on me, because I come from a country that does just that. Wine is at the very core of our economy. Our export was mostly merely wine. And I grew up with a developed palate. I didn't ask for it, I was exposed to it. So if the customer, the person I was in front of, didn't allow me the chance to share with them just that, my age was the first label. So ageism was one of the isms, aside the sexism, as we might know. Not that I want to put a label on gender, but the industry is mostly and vastly still to this day male dominant. So ageism, sexism were probably the biggest detriments to my success. I was lucky enough to be a resident in Prince George's County when MGM National Harbor won the contract to build a casino. And they won it by making a promise that they first will employ personnel from Prince George's County and give priority to vendors from Prince George's County. And that helped me a lot. I got a foot in the door by being a county-based vendor. That gained me some street cred, for lack
Right.
of a better word, because the isms and the other challenges that I was experiencing, not having a big enough portfolio, not having enough offerings, was at the detriment of growth. Fast forward a year into the relationship with MGM, they had certain demands, and their demand was very heavily on the Italian wines, French wines. So I had to diversify, which helped me a lot to grow my portfolio. And that's when I understood that no matter what they say and how they say, that all you have to do is have passion. And passion I had, but that was not enough. That is enough in maybe other industries, but in the wine industry, having mere passion, it's not going to get you very far. We have to have a good support group, a good portfolio to provide. Like I said, it's all
Hmm.
about supply and demand. And I can push Moldovan wines all day long, but if there's not enough demand, I'm only at the mercy of my work. Those are the kind of wines that have to be hand sold, if not by me or my reps, the sommeliers on property or store managers. So challenges are real. This is something that we often live off of social media, because when we want to portray a success image, an image that ultimately helps us be more successful. Because when you look back at the image that you're trying to portray, you too want to believe in it, and you do
Right.
push harder to achieve just that.
I mean, you raise a number of good points. I find when I'm introducing a wine that people aren't familiar with, and people, their go-tos are cabs, are chardonnays, and so when you introduce something that people aren't familiar with, they're a little resistant to change. How do you overcome that?
This is my favorite type of customer. When they say, I love Cabernet, I love Merlot, I love Chardonnay, I love Pinot Grigio,
Hmm.
um, I'm mostly, most of the time I'm saying, let me give you something. It's not going to be that, but it's going to be very similar. Are you open to trying something new that's in
Hmm.
the lines of what you already know? So if the customer is open to trying, I win. I win every time because there's just so much more to the wine world aside Cabernet, Merlot, Pinot Grigio, Chardonnay. Although those are all pillar grapes, they're indigenous grapes is what gets me excited.
Hmm.
This is what I do best. Esoteric grapes, indigenous blends that are maybe like a script. How did you put that together again? Why? How? This is what I love to teach. I love to push. I love to promote. I didn't pick a very easy path, but I believe I picked a path that suits my personality, that's in line with my vision, and my vision based on the challenges that I shared with you is to push the little guy, is to push minority brands,
Hmm.
women-owned brands, family-owned products that otherwise wouldn't have had the same opportunities by knocking on the door of our behemoths of companies such as, the well-known distribution companies. You get lost in the portfolio inevitably, and what I try to do is reserve spots for each product that I have, whether it's in the price category or country, what have you. But I do not have competing products. And what I push is exactly the challenge that I used to have, the minority, the
Hmm.
small family owned, women owned, black owned, those that have experienced the same challenges that I have, because only then do you really understand what this is all about. If things are given to you, if you didn't have to work for it hard, if you had certain allocations, you don't know how hard really is to have a placement in this industry. And because I do, that's why I give priority to those. I don't have any big brands to represent because the little guy is my heart.
I love that. And not knowing you very long, Christina, but I think I can say with confidence that if it wasn't a challenge, I think you would be bored. Is that fair?
That's fair. I think you nailed it. You should have maybe a side gig where you talk to people, taking them apart. You nailed it. Yes,
No, I understand. I'm the same way. Don't tell me I can't do it because we'll figure out a way how to get it done. How
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely how to get it done. So, just one more question about wines from Eastern Europe. What sets them apart and what distinguishes them from other wines?
There's several factors. My personal opinion, and that's also based on facts. It's our soil. Several countries have different types of soil. Like I work with either Italy, for example, they have sandy soil, white soil,
Mhm.
black soil, red soil, so many type of soils and elevations that can allocate room for the same grape varietal to be expressed in different ways. We don't have that kind of luxury, but we do have black soil, which is known to be the most fertile soil. This fantastic planet has to offer. And as history teaches us, that's due to volcanic ashes. I don't know how come, because we're very far away from any volcanoes. It must be going back hundreds of years.
Hmm.
But we have the what it takes to fruits and vegetables to grow juicy, to grow full of flavor. And that's what makes Moldova or Eastern Europe in general a part of the world that has a lot to offer. Geopolitical aspect is to be taken in consideration. The GDP is a lot less in that part of the world, so salaries are less, which means labor is going to cost us less. And in a full equation, you round up with a fantastic product at a much lesser cost than you would have in different parts of the world. Um, we 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 have a gem. We have the soil that feeds in this particular conversation, the grape that makes the wines what they are. Also, the lack of resources um, made us produce more organic wines. I think if we had resources to invest in external factors, we would have mass produced wines, but we relied on all natural yeast, animal byproduct, and things of this nature to produce organic wines, even though some of the wines are not accredited with the label of organic wines. You'll find yourself having a wine that doesn't give you a headache, and it doesn't hurt your wallet as some other wines from different part of the world, including the United States. And the United States has a portfolio of amazing wines, but price point comparison, we
Hmm.
can definitely compete. Even I guess some of the Bordeaux, Burgundy wines, because we're on the same elevation.
Yeah, I think I mean, you raise a number of great points, but I would definitely say, like, you beat them at price and amazing quality. And I just think it's a gem that has been overlooked. So you're able to slip in there at price and you just gain so much value. And I think the way the United States is evolving right now, where people are cautious with their price book and how they how they buy wines, that I think this is an area that people should examine more because you're not sacrificing quality at all. And you're getting a whole lot of value in your glass.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I like to say if it's good enough for royalty, it's good enough for you. And I say
Exactly.
that because, we had royalty from the UK actually have a little cellar at one of our wineries in Moldova. She used to put aside different vintages of Rara Neagră, which is a indigenous varietal, and a few other wines. She had her little cellar with certain vintages that she liked.
I'm going to do my little queen wave.
I love that.
So we
Yeah.
have two of your wines that you represent. The first one I didn't realize because we had started purchasing it from someplace else, but I'm so glad that you guys carry it. Is Ibis Wines,
Yes. It's a
and
South African
mhm.
blend. Absolutely.
And she's just taken the wine world by storm. Do you know if she's going to expand her line or is she sticking with her Ingrid, is she sticking with her red blend and her white blend?
We did not hear any updates on that. And if I was her, I would like to take the world by surprise and make a big introduction. Um, But for right now, the white blend and the red blend, we're doing really, really good with them on the market.
Hmm.
The response on the wine is always positive. It's a wine that delivers at the price point that is affordable to every consumer.
Yes, definitely. And then the other one is one of my personal favorites is Roman Clark by Tia
Tia.
Clark. Yes, and she's a local Maryland producer, and she has amazing wines too. Um, and I know that she's like looking, she's considering different varietals for her to start producing for those. So I'm excited that you're not only just carry national products, but you carry local products as well.
What I love about both of these ladies is they took a leap of faith and they said, I love, for Ingrid, I love the wines in South Africa. I don't have to grow my own grapes and pick them myself. I can recognize quality and can direct the process, can orchestrate the juice in the bottle that ultimately I will put my name on, and that goes for Tia as well. Her products being from Argentina, more so Mendoza. You know, when I open a good bottle of wine, I'm like, yeah, that smells like outsourced grapes. No, no, that
No,
smells
you
like good
know,
wine. I don't.
right.
I would not ever guess that this wine was outsourced by somebody that didn't grow their own grapes or
Mm,
didn't pick their own grapes. It's a good wine, and I would go back to the store and buy it again because it didn't argue with my olfactory senses, and my palate loved it, and the price point was great. And if I am lucky enough to learn about the story behind the wine, then I'm 100% in, because a lot of the times, especially when I go when I'm boots on ground, I'm in the field trying to push and promote. I often don't talk about the wine, the technical aspect of the wine. I talk about the story, because there's a lot of good wine out there, no matter what country of origin they have. But there's not a lot of good wine that has a story that makes you enjoy that wine that much more. And especially for women in this industry, I feel it's an industry that brings us closer together.
yes.
And I like to say that we as women, generally speaking, have a built-in mechanism, something that, if you believe in God, God gave us. Um, we're meant to be mothers, which means we have to have a sense of smell and taste and hearing that's maybe more acute and more on point than men. Unfortunately, in order to get certified in this industry, any way you go with it, it's very expensive. And I dare to extrapolate and assume that a lot of the gifted women aren't in this industry because of the cost associated with this endeavor.
Oh, you were dead on. You are dead on. And I saw this post on Instagram, and this lady was saying, you know, taking a wine class from a master som is less engaging because they're so technical, right? Like, they're breaking down um the soil down to like the nth degree or what have you, and they're going into like the pH level. Well, the average Joe or
Mhm.
Joanne, they don't care about that. Like, they care, but they don't care. You know what I mean? They care more about the story. They want to know about the individual who's making it. They want to know about the town that's there and the culture. And that's why I always say wine is culture. It's more than just grapes in a glass. And so you are dead on about that's what people want to hear about. They want to hear about the story behind the glass, and they want to hear about the people that produce it. And women often convey this very well because we we tend to be a little more intuitive and in touch with
Our
those
senses.
individuals. I have met Ingrid briefly, right, but I know Tia is so approachable and always tells a great story about her wine and her upbringing in it, and you want to try her wines. You fall in love with her wines and you fall in love with her.
Absolutely. I concur. Especially
And
like you
I
said,
just
when
want to
you're
give
standing
a
in
shout
front of
out. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to piggyback on your point. When you're standing in front of a sommelier, they really don't want you to tell them anything about the wine because they rely solely on their sensatories. The sight, the smell, the taste. They don't want you to speak because they have vested so much time and money in their education, and by you telling them what they should smell and see, it kind of perishes that tasting. And that's what I've learned, to focus more so on the story, because all of my product comes up with a good story, which is going back to one of the initial questions: what is one of my challenges? I cannot lie to save my life. I cannot sell a product I don't like. it's that makes me a bad salesperson, but I don't know that that makes me a bad human being. Only that I like that product and I like it enough to put it in front of my family and friends, in front of the people that I want to try the product, is a product I'm going to sell. If I don't like it, I can't push it. No. Did we get disconnected?
I 100% agree. So before we get into our random questions, is there anything else that we should know about you, Christina, and Harbor Wines?
I'm glad you asked that. I would like to share one milestone, something that's been in the works, only in my heart, but finally it broke ground this past Friday. Considering everything that, hello? Oh no. No, no, no.
Hi, Bam. We are experiencing a little technical difficulty right now, but hopefully, Christina will be right back. Let me add her back to stage. And this is the fun part about going live. There we go. I'm not sure what happened there. I apologize.
I had to disconnect and reconnect. How we're back together, right?
We are back together. And
Yeah,
look, this is what I said. This is the fun part about being live. You know what? It's real life.
indeed,
It's
indeed.
what I was saying before my system went a little crazy is before we get into our random questions, please tell us anything else that we should know and how to get in touch with you and Harbor Wines.
I love this question more so now than ever before because this was a project in my heart, trying to figure out how I'm going to get it done, considering all the turmoil, all the challenges. I wanted to be in front of the consumer more so than the licensed entity that Harbor Wine sells to, in trying to have a better understanding how I can participate in the industry, with the bag of knowledge that I have over the past 10 years. I have incorporated a nonprofit organization called Nice Legs because, the wine has legs and they're nice and they tell a story. We had this past Friday, March 27, our first class tailored to the consumer. It was called Wine One on One, directed by my sales director, Marcia McCall, and she's amazing. She's a WCT certified entity. We had 15 people and we had nothing but fantastic feedback. All the proceeds are going to the nonprofit that will ultimately commit funds to women that are gifted, that are interested in joining the industry, but don't have the means to do that. So Harbor Wines is donating 100% of the proceeds from these classes, educational classes tailored to the consumer, to Nice Legs, who will put women or assist women through school accredited organizations to pursue their dreams. And that's my giving back to the community, giving back to the country that adopted me. I feel like I live the American dream. I come from the poorest country in Eastern Europe, and I'm here at the center of the universe, what I call, with all kinds of opportunities. And I made it this far, and it's my duty and responsibility and great joy to give back. And that's where my heart is.
That is awesome and amazing. How can people find out about upcoming classes or an event so they can attend or at least contribute to your fund?
Absolutely. Harbor Wines, both on Facebook and Instagram. We're working on a platform dedicated for just Nice Legs, but considering Harbor Wines is the mother company that created Nice Legs, we will utilize Harbor Wines to inform the consumer on what's up next and our next classes. The next one, I believe, and I'll have to cross check with my team because they're working hard on putting these classes together. We're going to be talking about mixing spirits the right way because there's many ways, but there's ways that you can mess it up. So we're going to be talking about spirits and how to mix them correctly.
Excellent. And okay, I lied. I have one more question before our random
I love
questions.
questions.
Um, as a if somebody was a new wine producer or say they're an existing wine producer but they are looking for a distributor, um, how would they get in touch with you and um, what's your criteria?
Christina at Harbor Wines is my email. However, for a faster response, because I have a lot of emails that often get lost, office at Harbor Wines is a email that's monitored, not just by me, so that would allocate a faster response on inquiry. And of course, we primarily work, like I said, with small companies, family owned. Those will get a faster response from us.
Okay. Like, do you have a minimum, like at least 100 cases, or it's just on a case by case basis?
We don't have a minimum. If your production is one pallet, then we need to know that it's part of our onboarding communication. So we know what customer will benefit best from this. We know which direction to push the product. Because once you get in a door, you don't want to lose that placement. So
Right.
choosing the customer, the licensed entity correctly is key here. Not every product needs to be in every outlet. In fact, product that is scarce has a little bit more notoriety because it's something that you can't buy at the corner store.
Hmm.
That's why some of the on-premise accounts love to hear about that. They will be more inclined to buying something that's more scarce than mass produced.
I agree 100%. Okay, so for our random questions, Easter is this Sunday, Passover starts soon. My question to you is, do you have a favorite holiday tradition?
Tradition. Um, well, I have a favorite holiday and I have a
Okay.
favorite holiday tradition. If it's the tradition, I would say it's Thanksgiving. It is something we did not have in Moldova, something we didn't celebrate in Moldova. So when I learned about it, it really drove home with me because Thanksgiving, it's about giving thanks, about looking back, and if it's not right in front of your face, maybe you have to think about it. What am I thankful for? But you have to think about it and you have to verbalize it, vocalize it, and maybe put it into a gift format to show somebody how thankful you are, and really, in a sense, count your blessings. I wish we could celebrate Thanksgiving every day. I wish every day started as a Thanksgiving
Hmm.
because we have so many challenges. And if we're talking about the industry, we don't have enough time for me to really illustrate the challenges associated with this industry. But there's so many things that we could be thankful for and we should be thankful for. And I feel like if we were to vocalize that, more good would come our way.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And if you had to start a new tradition, what would that be?
Probably just that Thanksgiving every day.
There
Start your day by giving thanks.
there you
Start
go.
your day by being thankful. Maybe it's not what you hope to receive, but receiving you did indeed. So, and instead of focusing on what didn't go your way or what money didn't produce, the investment didn't have the return, how about being thankful for having the opportunity of doing just that? That's on the business side. On the humanity side, being thankful that you have maybe your parents still alive, or having your home, or having both feet, because I just had foot surgery and luckily I still have 2 feet. I'm thankful to be able to walk on them. For a
Yeah.
person like me who's always on the go, having 2 feet that take me places is something I want to give thanks every day. So if I could implement anything, I would say Thanksgiving every morning, every day.
That is I love that. Maybe in October I heard this gentleman say, if you write down every day just one thing how God touched your life, and then at the end of the week you go back and you read that, then you it just changes you. And so I started doing that. And amazingly, it does change your mindset. Like you're grateful for, and you put things in perspective. And it doesn't always have to be the big things. It just the little things, like you got out of bed that morning, because some people don't. Okay, so for
Absolutely.
my last question, and I'll get off my soapbox. My last question is, if you only had one wine you could drink for the rest of your life, we ask this of all of our guests, what wine would?
Be this one exactly what's in my cup, a prosecco.
Ooh.
And this is a very difficult question, I must say. I'm saying it's a prosecco because it's next to me, because I started my day with it. And sometimes the best part of waking up is prosecco in your cup.
Mhm.
My girl Marcia came up with that because I do love prosecco so much. I feel it's a wine that you can start your day with or without additives. You can end your day with, celebrate with. Red wine doesn't really go in the morning. White wine depends what kind you have, and there's just so many good varietals. But if I have to choose one wine, Prosecco would be it. I feel champagne is overrated. I don't have anything against champagne. In fact, I love it so much so that I have quite a few SKUs in my portfolio. But Prosecco would be it. It's just so. In fact, I love this so much. I put my name on it. It says imported by Harbor Wines, selected by Cristina Tufts. I don't know if you could see that.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that. Christina, thank you so much for giving up your time today, and I appreciate you. And Marcia has been tuning in, and I want to say a big shout out to Marcia because she is just a great ambassador in this industry. So shout out to you, Marcia, and
She's been fantastic. I've been very happy. I prayed for help, and when Marcia and I connected, she went from sales rep to sales director, and Harbor Wines has benefited greatly from having her on our team.
that is exceptional. Well, thank you guys, and we will be back later with more wine talk. Have a great day.
I love it. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.